Howdy doody, YouTube. My name is UniqueSKD, and welcome to UniqueSKD Reads Raising Rainbow, a fanfic, a My Little Pony fanfic, written by tipsy1334. How are you doing, everybody? Hope you've had a lovely Christmas. I hope you have. And I hope you got what you wanted from Santa Claus, jolly old Saint Nick, ho ho ho. What'd you call me? No, nothing. You calling me a hoe? No. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. So yeah, let's get into the story. Chapter 1. It's a boy. Just give it a moment. I'm using two computers, one to record and one to read from, and the one I'm reading from is taking its time. Come on, hurry up, you piece of shit. I'm waiting. There we go, it's loaded. Okay. Raising Rainbow by tipsy1334. Chapter 1. It's a boy. Oh my. Rainbow nervously paced. Damn it, got a message. Sorry, message popped up. Alright, let me start that all over again. Duh. Rainbow nervously paced back and forth. His periwinkle hooves clanked on the ivory tile floor beneath him. His heart was thumping against his chest, and sweat dripped from his forehead harder than it did during an intense workout. He works out? Cool. Maybe if he wasn't in a hospital, he wouldn't have been so nervous. Yeah, I hate hospitals too. Yet it wasn't the fact that he was in a hospital that made him nervous. It was the reason why he was in a hospital. For the last few weeks, Firefly, his beloved mare friend, wasn't feeling exactly well. She was having severe stomach pains, and a while ago she had been thrown up quite a bit. They never ever considered the possibility that the young mare could have been pregnant. It wasn't until the previous night that they both grew increasingly worried. Firefly had been sitting on the couch with her love, listening to overrated tunes on the radio and snuggling her head into the stallion's soft chest. Although they'd been dating a long while now, her parents were still a bit afraid when she ventured into her beloved's house. She was only 16 at the time, and Rainbow was 18. The nervous panic commenced when the little mare put a hoof on her belly and whispered, "There's some pony inside me." Rainbow was beyond terrified when she said those little words to him. At first, he thought the pink-coated mare was joking or pulling a prank on him. Yeah, what a great joke. There's some pony inside me. A good joke. Lol. When the unfortunate truth that her words were honest sunk into him, fear struck him like lightning. Thunderstruck! Do, thunderstruck! Who doesn't love that song? Yeah. Oh, sorry, we're getting sidetracked. IR random. Finally, when the stallion's hooves began to ache, he rested into a nearby chair and put his hooves... Ball stop. And put his head into his hooves. What did I do? He repeated to himself over and over again. If he wouldn't have made that one damn mistake, none of this would have ever happened. He'd be with his little mare friend, and they'd be happy and worry-free. He tried to relax as he remembered the day that caused all this panic. Yeah, that's going to help you relax now, isn't it? It was Rainbow's 18th birthday, but yet again he was exhausted from a hard day at the weather factory. He stumbled into his small, cosy apartment. He was prepared to take a long, well-deserved rest in his comfortable bed. Then around 6, his sweet, adorable mare friend would be coming over. He could already see her beautiful, adorable face. He could look deeply into her purple eyes and feel her long, blue locks of hair in between his hooves. She truly was gorgeous, and by far the most adorable mare who had ever walked the grounds of Equestria. His warm heart grew giddy with thoughts of the upcoming night. The little stallion galloped into the kitchen. Normally it was unoccupied, but not today. His mare friend was in the kitchen, humming a cheerful tune and adding the top layer to a well-constructed sandwich. "Oh, hey, babe. Didn't see you there." Oh, bollocks. No, this is her talking. Shit. Just made her sound like a man. I feel like a man. Do, 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 do. Herp-a-derp. Sorry. "Oh, hey, babe. Didn't see you there." She smashed the sandwich together, keeping all the layers neatly glued together. With super glue. Lol. Made from horses. Lol. "I made you a sandwich while you were at work." Rainbow was still agape. "Sweetheart, I wasn't expecting you until 6. It's only 4:30. How'd you get in?" "Oh, I know. I just wanted to surprise you on your special day." The overly happy mare went over to her cult friend and gave him a tender kiss on the lips. Rainbow kissed it back passionately and then broke away with a smile. Yeah, it's her. "Hope you're not disappointed I was a bit early." "Of course not. I love spending time with you." He wrapped his hoof around her neck gently with a smile and they nuzzled briefly. Firefly cleared her throat. "So, what do you want to do this evening? I'm up for anything you are." "Anything." Rainbow thought for a second. I don't know. Maybe later we could watch a movie together. Or take a walk in that little park near your school. Or, we could go for a short fly. And maybe race if you're up for it. Eh? Race? Eh? You like that? You like that? You like the idea of a race? Huh? You like that? You want to race? You want to race? You want to race? Okay. Firefly smiled cutely. "Those all sound wonderful. Now, how about getting a little something in your belly? You must be starving after a long day at work." The periwinkle-coated stallion smiled slightly. "Yeah, I guess I am. I still don't like it when you make food for me, though. It kind of makes me feel guilty." "Why?" "I used to have a mare friend who always made me cook for her, and it was pretty annoying." Firefly almost laughed at his silly little thoughts. "Oh, Rainbow, you idiot. You know I love cooking, and it's not like you asked me to cook for you. It's your birthday. You should just relax and enjoy the evening." Yeah, she's smart. She gets it. I like her. She grabbed the plate with the layered, yummy-looking sandwich on it, and placed it on the dining table across from the small kitchen. Rainbow quietly smiled and blushed. "Thanks, sweetheart." He made his way to the young man and kissed her sweetly on her cheek. "I love you." "I love you too," she said with a grin before sitting in the chair placed directly across from her cult friend. The young couple smiled at each other for an unnatural amount of time. The stallion kept glancing at his mare friend while occasionally looking at his sandwich. It seems almost weird to eat it. Why? It's a sandwich. Like, he knew he wanted to, but at the same time it felt almost strange to consume the delectable arrangement of vegetables. Why? "Something wrong, sweetie?" Firefly asked in concern. "No, it's nothing. I just feel a bit strange about this sandwich." That's when his little mare friend burst into laughter. She nearly fell to the floor. Her loud squeals and laughter filled the room. Her little cult friend blushed and sheepishly turned away. It wasn't until another minute that the giggly mare could grasp her regular calmness. I'm making a sound like Mickey Mouse. "The sandwich makes you feel strange?" she asked, wiping a tear from her eye. "You're so silly, Bolty." Oh God, what a bad pun name. Bolty. Rainbow chuckled to himself, trying to hide his inner embarrassment. Yeah, I guess. In an attempt to purge his uneasy thoughts, he lifted the sandwich into his mouth and took a big bite. The flavour of lettuce, tomato, onion, black olives, mustard, pickles, carrots and cheese. Jesus Christ. "Is that all you put on the sandwich?" All filled his mouth. He had to admit, it tasted fantastic. Why he ever had a strange feeling about the masterpiece, he hadn't the slightest clue. He swallowed the yummy bite he took and smiled at his mare friend. "My God, this tastes amazing." "I know. I made myself one before you arrived." She happily gazed into the stallion's golden eyes and smiled. "You're so cute," she muttered softly. Rainbow smiled from the second bite he forced into his mouth and blushed brightly. "Thank you, sweetheart. You're way cuter, though." "No, you are." "You are," he playfully argued. "No way." "Yep, you're way cuter." "No, you are!" "You're like 20% cuter." Rainbow giggled and allowed his beautiful mare to win that argument. How he loved seeing her happy. "Now, finish up your meal and we'll see how you feel afterwards." "I'll probably feel better and less tired," he admitted. He took another large bite and thoroughly chewed and swallowed. After only a few more bites preceding that one, he completely finished his delectable meal. How big was his sandwich? His mare friend gleamed at him with a wide grin as he swallowed the last bite. "So," she started, "how do you feel?" Rainbow seemed almost confused at that question. Why would a simple sandwich cause his emotions to shift that dramatically? His tummy was full and his mind was more active, so that was a plus. "What do you mean? I feel better, I guess." Firefly smiled at the little stallion with large purple eyes and then frowned a bit. "I'll have to ask you again in 15 minutes. Rainbow thought for a minute, then his eyes shot open. "Well, what do you do to it?" Firefly turned and smiled with a wink. "I may or may not have put a little something in there." The Pegasus turned angry and afraid at his mare friend's words. "You... what?" Firefly seemed almost shocked at his reaction. "Don't get all huffy with me. All it was a little something to get you in the mood." A blush smeared across Rainbow's face. "In the mood? As in... horny? Like a unicorn?" "What, they have horns?" The little mare smiled and blushed with a nod. Oh my god, she did. "Rapist!" "You know, just thought we could have some fun on your birthday." But you're only 15! Your parents would kill me if they found out! And I don't even think it's ethical for me to have sex with you since you're a minor!" Wow. Like, I haven't seen that before in Britain. Seriously though, in Britain we have so many teenage pregnancies, it's unbelievable. And if you're British, then I'm sorry if I offended you, but it's the fucking truth. I'm putting that out there right now. Not all women though, there are some decent teenagers. Like me, for example. Well, I'm not a teenager anymore, I'm an adult, but... shut up, you get it. It's a fact. Everyone knows it. "Hey!" she snapped. "I'll be 16 in 2 weeks. Besides, my parents will never find out, because we're not going to tell any pony. You could get pregnant or caught or..." Firefly leaned over the table and shook her lover up with a long kiss on the mouth. He blushed heavily, and his wings sprung up. "Wing boner!" The little mare broke away and smiled at him with lust in her eyes. "You were saying?" I... His entire face lit up a bright hue of crimson as he smiled at the mare. "I would love to." "Stupid, stupid, stupid, I'm so stupid! This is all my fault, she's pregnant and it's my fault for being so stupid!" He felt embarrassed as he pondered over his own stupidity, blaming himself for every pony's misery and problems. It's your fault that ponies can't get laid and get jobs and shit. Sorry. He grunted and banged the back of his head against his wall. It's not your wall, it's the hospital's. The nurse at the counter, along with several other patients in the waiting room, stared at the worrisome stallion. He was constantly muttering to himself and banging his heavy head against the back of the wall. The disapproving and judgmental eyes locked on him were completely ignored, as he was only worried about the state of his beloved mare friend. After another long, uneventful 10 minutes, his sweet little mare friend walked out of the 2 large white doors. Her face had a smile glued on, but her eyes showed a bit of distress. The nervous stallion instantly rushed to the side of his sweetheart and landed a kiss on her soft cheek. "Well," he started, "what's the news?" A deep pit of dread filled his heart as he awaited the answer. Firefly's smile turned into a frown and her upset eyes glimmered. It's a boy. And that concludes chapter 1. So now we go on to chapter 2. Chapter 2 of Raising Rainbow by Pizzy1334. A Rainbow is born. Rainbow hauled a hefty box into the living room of the new, much larger home they both sacrificed a lot to earn. Firefly picked up a part-time job and put all her money into savings for the new home and things they'd need for the baby. Rainbow worked any extra possible shift he could. They spent as little as they needed to get by and make ends meet, and sacrificed every last cent. No, you mean bit. They don't use our money, towards the arriving baby. The house was in decent shape, to say the least. There were a few plumbing problems and minor issues with the structure, and monsters living under the bed. Lol. But it was perfect, aside from that. It had 2 bedrooms, a nice bathroom, a spacious living room, a small but cosy kitchen, and plenty of windows with a good-sized yard the child would grow to love. To wreck. Sorry. Caring for Firefly the past 10 months wasn't the easiest thing in the world. She had dramatic mood swings, a strange appetite, and worst of all, she had false births a few times within the past couple of weeks. Those were not only scary, but they changed Firefly's mood to quite aroused. Okay. Okay, whatever. I don't think it means aroused in the way I'm thinking, but then again, I'm a sick bastard. I'm insane! Sorry, we're getting sidetracked. It could have been far worse, but it was bad enough. Rainbow caught Kit. Fucking hell! Stop messing up, you idiot! Rainbow loved her, cared for her, and tolerated her the whole way through, though. Is that the last one? God damn it! I cannot read. I am so bad at this. Is that the last one? Firefly asked as Rainbow set the heavy box down onto the cloud floor. Yeah, he answered. I just hope this baby is worth it. I know. He's getting awfully big. She flew up and felt her growing belly, gently stroking her hoof across the bulging surface. I wonder what he'll look like. It could be a she, Rainbow corrected. The doctor said he wasn't completely sure what its gender was. But he said he was like 90% sure it was a boy. Oh, I thought you would have put 20. Get it? Shut up and laugh, it's funny. The mayor argued. Whatever. Rainbow opened the box he'd just set down. Ugh, more books. You are such an egghead. Firefly blushed. Hey, you said I could bring anything that would make me more comfortable. The stallion simply rolled his yellow eyes in response. And you're going to read all these. Firefly gave her cult friend a friendly punch in his arm. Maybe. Plus, the kid might want to read some. The kid won't be old enough to read for a few years. Still. Man, I can't believe we have this entire house where you bought it. I know. We couldn't have got it if you didn't get a job. He brought his mare friend inward and nuzzled her. I'm very proud of you. Why? Because she raped you? Aw, thanks, babe, she commented, and then put her hoof back on her belly as it made a gurgling noise. Ah, let's get lunch. All this moving busyness has worn me out. Sure thing, sweetheart. He gave her a little peck on the cheek. Gosh, you pregnant mares have quite the appetite. She got a bit huffy. Phew! You try having this thing. It eats all your food. No thanks. She pointed to her belly and Rainbow giggled. Didn't mean to offend you, sweetie. Just saying. He headed to the kitchen. What are you in the mood for? Rainbow didn't receive a response for the longest time. Nearly 10 seconds passed before he turned around and laid eyes on the little mare floating a few feet above him. Tears swelled up in her purple eyes. Rainbow immediately flew up and wrapped his hoof around her back, moving her closer to his torso and rubbing his hoof up and down the arc of her back. What's wrong, sweetie? The mare didn't respond, but instead burst into a volatile mess of hot tears. Rainbow embraced the mare securely. Man, she was so emotional. 'Cause she's a woman. Nah, I respect women. I respect women. It's gonna be okay, I promise. Don't be sad. Firefly sniffled and spoke, muffled through tears. I'm gonna be a mommy. I don't wanna be a mommy. I'm too young. Well, you should have thought of that before you raped him, huh? Hmm? You know, use a little common sense. Hmm? You know what? I'm sorry if anyone listening to this right now, if anyone's listening to it, that is. I'm sorry if you like Firefly, but she is just typical of a lot of British people these days. In fact, of a lot of people in this world. Hang on. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. I'm sorry guys, we'll have to carry this on in just a sec. I have to go and do something for my brother. Won't be a mo. Okay, I'm back guys, sorry about that. My little brother was too lazy to get his own fucking wallet. Damn, little brothers are lazy, aren't they? And I should know, I used to be a little kid. Oh god, I forgot where I was now. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, too young. I'm too young. This fit. Rainbow had witnessed her break down emotionally into tears over this before. She hated the idea of dedicating so much time to a child, and so did Rainbow. The fuck was that? What's going on? You guys alright? God damn it, you cannot get peace and quiet in this house. Damn it! I've lost my place now. I'll start again. I'm sorry for these interruptions, people. You try living here. This fit. Rainbow had witnessed her break down emotionally into tears over this before. She hated the idea of dedicating so much time to a child, and so did Rainbow. He knew it wasn't going to be easy, right, but he also knew they'd make it through together. It's okay. We'll make it through, I promise. This'll all turn out okay. Firefly lifted her head. Her blue mane was wet with her own tears, and her reddened face wrinkled in misery. I don't know. I've just been so emotional lately. It's just 3 weeks from now. We'll be parents. Doesn't that scare you? The Pegasus wrapped both hooves around his beloved. No, losing you scares me. You're my everything. Rainbow rubbed the back of her head and smiled. This baby will only bring us closer. I'm sure of it. Firefly sniffled as her tears subsided. Are you positive? He bent down and kissed the mare on the lips. Of course I'm sure. He put his hoof on her belly where the baby rests. 3 weeks and we'll be given a miracle. Firefly smiled slightly with a giggle. All right. Now, can I get some goddamn food in my belly? Sorry. Rainbow leaned in and kissed the beautiful mare goodnight. Their lips met and massaged each other's for a good minute before breaking away. Their eyes met and twinkled with love. They were extremely haggard from unpacking and packing all day long. Man. Oh, sorry. There's something on my screen, so I thought that was a H. So I thought it was said ma. Sorry. Man, what an evening! Rainbow had dealt with tolerating irrational mood swings, extreme hunger, and excessive stomach illness for the past 10 months. His pretty mare friend had to experience them. Neither knew who genuinely had it worse though. The young couple tucked beneath their sheets and snuggled their heads into their pillows, staring deeply into each other's eyes. They smiled at each other slightly. "Good night, sweetheart," Rainbow finally said. "Good night. Sleep well." She closed her eyes and stuffed her head into a soft pillow. That usually meant, "I'm going to bed now." Well, yeah, 'cause that's what you put your head on a pillow for, isn't it? To rest your head and go to bed, I guess? Sorry, I'm still drunk off the Amaretto. Blah. Rainbow turned on to his opposite side and stared out his window at the night sky. Little shining freckles decorated the dark background. The moon's glow was bright and full. The silhouette of an alicorn's head could be depicted in one look if one Sorry, she's misspelled a few words here. Could be depicted if one looked close enough, right? Rainbow's heavy eyes set on a shooting star that whizzed across the sky. Its trail was bright and multicolored. He smiled at it moments before his eyes shut and he drifted into a land of dreams. Loud, shrill moans of distaste could be heard as the stallion's ears perked up, and he awoke. He turned his head immediately to find his mare friend was bending over in pain. Her hooves were caressing her stomach and her ears were flattened against her head. He wants out! Oh god, sorry. Firefly let out another long moan, and Rainbow wrapped his hooves around his mare friend. He held her close and rubbed her back comfortingly. Blah. It's so bad! She grunted as she tried hard to suppress any more cries or moans. It was one of the worst pains she'd ever felt. Nevertheless, it felt as though bullets were being shot into her lower stomach. Damn. If she had the chance to dig her hoof into her stomach and pull out all of her internal organs, she would have. Damn. I'm glad I'm not a woman. It's okay. Only 3 more weeks. The impatient mare cried out again, and her eyes were filled with tears. I want this damned baby out of me! She screamed in agony. Rainbow couldn't say a thing. He could, however, comfort his darling. He held her close and held her hoof. She squeezed tightly as she tried hard to endure the pain. Do you need to go to the hospital? He finally asked. Firefly clenched her teeth as she leaned into his coat. She gave an affirmative nod as another tear trickled down her face. Rainbow sighed as he put his hoof under his mare friend's legs and shoulders before scooping her up into his arms. She nuzzled her head into his soft, fuzzy chest like a newborn foal. He held her so kindly and carried her so carefully. He couldn't imagine what pain she was going through. She nuzzled her kindly and carried her out of the room. He closed the door and his mare friend let out another cry. It'll be okay, sweetie. He moved his hoof down her back gently. Rainbow was practically at the door when he suddenly heard an odd, piercing sound. It wasn't until he felt a strange, clear liquid running down his arms and body. Oh, Jesus Christ. That his yellow eyes went wide. The sudden shock made both him and Firefly tense up. The clear, runny liquid dripped to the ground and the stallion almost felt sick with a sudden realization. What? My water broke! My water broke! Firefly cried. Rainbow's heart began to pound faster than it had in her. In her? Wait, you just turned Rainbow into a woman now? I think you mean his. Rainbow's heart began to pound faster than it had in his entire life, not her. We have to go to the hospital. We don't have time! Firefly argued, squirming out of the arms of her lover. The baby's coming! Ah! Firefly laid on the ground and started whimpering. Her breathing became rapid and loud as her eyes watered up. She laid sideways and felt the baby start to move within her, towards the escape. It's coming! It's coming! It's coming! It's coming! Oh! she repeated in a shrill tone, but not like that. It's a little better than the one I did. Rainbow nervously flew down to her and held her hoof tightly while rubbing her back in the most comforting manner he could. He felt her trying to push the baby out and the tenseness she was carrying. She gripped his hoof tightly and tried to calm down. She gritted her teeth and let out a moan of distaste as the baby's hoof poked out her. Oh, fuck! The little hoof was in an eggshell bubble, along with the rest of him they had yet to see. Rainbow drew his eyes away from her as the baby made its way out further. Firefly only began to sob heavier and let out the occasional scream or cry through the hard task. The baby's other hoof and head came out the hardest. The pain-consumed mare had to put all her strength into getting that much of the baby out. Sorry, this is weirding me out, reading this. Her belly moved inward and outward, trying to get the fall out of her. Her heart raced and sweat fell to the floor. She pushed harder and harder as minutes passed by. It fucking hurts! She screamed as the fall's lower midsection was being forced out of her. Rainbow continued to hold the mare's hoof, which was now suffocating under her firm grasp. He tried hard to make her feel more comfortable in her moments of misery. Just a little more. He's almost out. Just a little more. Firefly let out a grunt and gave one last push with all her might. Her body then laid limp. She couldn't take it anymore. She was far too weak to move another inch. Please, just pull him out. Rainbow gave a quick nod, which went unnoticed by his wife, and made his way to the struggling foal, whose hind legs were still stuck inside his mother. He grabbed its slippery front legs until its little kicking legs came out with a pop. Pop! Firefly let out a long sigh of relief as the foal came out. Rainbow sat at the end and opened up the thin, wet sack cradling the foal. It easily opened to reveal a dripping, wet cyan foal. His eyes were shut closed and covered in his mother's sap. His vibrant, multicoloured mane was drenched in smelly fluids. Ew. He was breathing and attempting to stand, but slipped over the sack that once held him delicately. He started crying at his failed attempt to walk. Rainbow's smile turned into a frown as he grabbed the messy newborn and held it in his arms. Oh, don't cry. Please don't cry. It's okay. It's okay. The little foal didn't stop crying completely, but continued did feel more peace in his daddy's arms. Okay, whatever. His little hooves clung to his chest and tried to get closer to the stallion. What's he look like? Firefly asked, panting. Rainbow smiled and lowered the little foal into the mare's view. She smiled slightly at the cute baby. He looks just like his daddy. Rainbow nodded, and Firefly's ears perked up for a moment. Wait! She reached out her hooves, and Rainbow gently set the newborn in his mother's arms. She carefully tilted the baby and stared for a moment. It's a girl. Rainbow looked confused. It is? Firefly nodded. Oh. He couldn't think of anything else much to say after that. Should I wash her off? Firefly smiled. Would you please? Rainbow nodded and took the little foal away from her mother. The foal seemed confused at why she was being tossed back and forth between parents. She struggled a little as she was picked up and carried into her father's arms. You rest here and I'll wash her off. Try to think of a name while I'm gone. Firefly smiled with a nod, and Rainbow flew to the kitchen, holding the slippery infant. He placed the small foal in the kitchen sink gently. The cold metal on her back made the poor foal whimper. Shh, shh, he said as he took a cloth from the cabinet and wet it with cool water. It's all right, sweetheart. It's okay. Rainbow took the light blue rag and pressed it gently to his daughter's face, wiping the excess goop off. He slid the rag across her eyelids gently and to her other cheek, cleaning it with care. Claire? Who the fuck's Claire? The moment this thick, sticky fluids were removed from her eyelids, she opened her eyes with a few blinks. They were a beautiful shade of pink. She looked up at her daddy. Her eyes smiled, but her mouth stood agape. Aw, hello there, beautiful. He moved the rag to her belly and smiled. You came out early, you know. You still had another 3 weeks. The little foal seemed even more confused. Her eyes wandered around, examining the house. A cute little whine escaped her mouth. Rainbow giggled. "You're such a cutie pie. Just like your mommy." Yeah, let's see what you think in the next chapter, Rainbow. Let's see what you think in the next chapter. Spoiler alert! Epic foreshadowing! Yes, I've read the story. I've read pretty much all the story already, so... yeah. Rainbow took a second to wipe some gunk out of the little fluffy mane on her head. She made a gurgling sound as saliva dripped down her chin. Rainbow smiled and wiped off the spit before re-wetting the rag and proceeding to wipe off her back. For arriving a bit early, she seemed quite developed and healthy. He'd have to get a doctor's appointment to know more, but that wasn't important right now. What was important was that he and Firefly had a sweet, adorably and lovably little foal to cherish for years to come. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what you think. We'll see if you're still thinking that in chapter 3. Yeah. Well, actually, I was going to do chapter 3 as well in this video, but I'm kind of pressing for time because I've got these other projects to do. So yeah, I like the story. I really do like it. It's faved on my FIM Fiction account. So yeah, that's chapters 1 and 2. I was going to do 3, like I said, but I am kind of pressed for time. There's other people who want me to do their stories. So yeah, no offense to you, Pizzy 1334. No offense to you. But yeah, I will get the next chapter done in good time. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this fan reading. I apologise if I buggered up a few times. I'm kind of drunk on this drink that Amaretto it's called. You've probably heard of it. Yeah, I got a little drunk on it. I'm not an alcoholic, so don't worry. I just drank a bit too. I drank more than I thought I could handle. And yep, I'm paying for it. I'm paying for it. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, if you enjoyed this, then give it a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you again in the next fanfic reading. Bye bye!